Welcome back to my Mandalorian review series, where today I'm taking another look at Season 3, Episode 4, called The Foundling. Of course, I've been doing these reviews for all of the previous episodes of The Mandalorian and also the Book of Boba Fett. If you're interested to see any of those because you missed them, there's a link in the description where I have a playlist for all of them. But now let's get into another episode that takes a massive sidestep and fills it up with a lot of filler as far as I'm concerned. And last week I was praising the episode for actually taking that sidestep because I very much liked the side story going on. In this case, it's not all bad, but oh my god, does it feel just like a delay for no good reason. This once again very much highlights that this season did not really have a main storyline that it would be able to continue with consistently. There are sidesteps that just fill up whatever is happening for the sake of it so that we have more episodes. But it's kind of weird how it kind of feels like Game of Thrones when Daenerys was just stuck in Meereen for several seasons. But the reason that she was stuck there is because the other storylines over in Westeros needed to catch up so that she could finally go to Westeros in the end. In this case, we're just filling it up for the sake of it to actually get 8 episodes in a season, because I don't think they had enough material to really get there, and they just filled it up with whatever they could think of. Again, it's not all bad, but after last week, that was already a bit apparent, and this episode and the next 2 episodes are going to make that way more apparent. And this is going to be building up towards the point where, of course, episode 6, I'm going to definitely rant on it. We'll get there when we get there. Let's just first focus on this episode, episode 4. But Din, Grogu, and Bo are now with the covert of Mandalorians that we already know from season 1, the armor, Paz Vizsla, all the like, and it does start off with a scene that I do like, because Grogu challenges one of the other foundlings, and the way it plays out is very much like something that I know from Knights of the Old Republic 2. I'm not entirely sure if that's where the idea comes from, the way that Mandalorians train with one another, but that's what I know it from. Because in that game, at one point, you as a character join a Mandalorian covert on a moon of Onderon, and if you want to challenge someone, they can then name the terms and conditions of the fight, and then that's how the fight is going to play out. The same happens here, and I really enjoyed seeing that because it's, again, something cherry-picked from Legends brought into canon. And I do think that very often when they pick something from Legends that already exists, but they need to introduce it into canon, they do a good job at that. So this was definitely something I enjoyed in that regard. And actually, the Grogu part of this episode is not that bad. It just feels like it's stalling for something to happen, even though what are we stalling for? We're not waiting on anything. You know, it's just to fill up the show. Because we are getting flashbacks as to how Grogu experienced Order 66. And that is something that I do like, because Order 66 has become a huge moment in Star Wars as of late. In the past couple of years, they have done so much more with Order 66, and to show it from all kinds of different sides. It is actually cool to see that, and probably the best thing about this entire sequence is seeing Ahmed Best back in Star Wars after, of course, the role that he played in the prequels, Jar Jar Binks, which is a role that, in my opinion, gets way too much hate. I don't think it's the best character by any stretch of the imagination, but it definitely isn't the worst character that I've seen in Star Wars. There are characters that I like a lot less than Jar Jar, that I actually have hate towards. I don't hate Jar Jar, at least not in the prequels. The Clone Wars I do find a bit more unbearable, but one thing that is always very important to remember, the person playing Jar Jar, Ahmed Best, actually came out to say that he had suicidal thoughts after the hate that he got for Jar Jar, because the hate was so visceral and violent and just so bad that it's like, it's never, ever, in any way, shape, or form, okay to go after a person like that. If you don't like a character, that's one thing. I have several characters in Star Wars that I really hate. I'm never gonna go after any of the actors who play them. I'm never gonna send any messages to them. I will only point out in a video that I don't like the character and just move on from that. Because that amount of hatred is the dark side very much, and it's just not good for you. So please, can I ask everyone to, from now on, not do that anymore? Because we even got it very recently with The Acolyte, where everyone was sending bad messages to the cast and crew of The Acolyte, and I'm like, these are just people who made a TV show that you didn't like. It's not gonna affect your life. Move on. It's honestly baffling to me, but I'm just so glad that Ahmed Best got that second chance in Star Wars playing the Jedi Kelleran Beq, who saved Grogu from Order 66. So that was nice to see. It was nice to see Order 66 in that regard. It has a big prequel vibe going on to see Coruscant in that way, which, I mean, of course, it is set during the prequels, but I do think they captured that feel very well. Also, in last week's episode, that's something that I forgot to mention in my review for last week. It had a prequel vibe, but the good prequel vibe. Very much something that I do enjoy, even though I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm just not the biggest fan of the prequels, but that's fine. We can all have our different opinions, right? But that is really all I can say about the Grogu part. It's probably the better part of the episode, but it still just fills up a lot of time and doesn't continue with the main storyline. But the main storyline is not much better at all. And the thing is, this is a very short episode as well. It's only 25 minutes. And of the 25 minutes, none of it really continues the main storyline. It's just Grogu having his flashbacks, and on the other hand, you have Din and Bo going to rescue a kid. That's all there is to that. Last week I was praising the episode for being long. It was almost an hour long. This episode is less than half than that. And last week's, sidestep filler was actually interesting to watch for me. I enjoyed the storyline going on. There's not much in this episode that I'm really enjoying. It's just, we're going through the motions. And what also really bugs me is, Bo tracks the creature and is like, I found the nest, we can go there. They come up with a plan to stealthily go there. So they stealthily go there, and at the very last second, Paz Vizsla is like, oh no, it's my son. And he goes loud, and all of a sudden he exposes himself, and that almost fucks up the entire plan. Of course, they do actually manage to defeat the creature, but I really hate this trope that it happens a lot in movies and TV when they come up with a plan, and it's a very elaborate plan, and they go through all of that, and you're following along, and then at the last second, one person decides to just fuck it up for everyone. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake! But it's really only done to make sure that we have a chase sequence to fill up a little bit more time, because if they had just gotten the kid, it would have been over too quickly, and the episode would be shorter, right? Everything in this episode feels like it's just done to fill up time and nothing else. I am not particularly interested in much of it. And at the end, I'm just like, I suppose the one credit I will give to the episode is the fact that the episode is very aptly named. It's called The Foundling, and we follow two foundlings in Grogu and the son of Paz Vizsla. Ooh. Also, I do think this episode very much highlights the fact that Mandalorians are not necessarily the smartest. It's very much about brute force and their strength. And, we have seen a lot of examples of the Mandalorians not being the smartest because they fight each other constantly. But it's like, why can't none of them use their brain? Actually, Bo-Katan is one of the people who uses her brain the most, I feel. But other than that, they're not particularly smart now, are they? It is funny, though, that they do take the creature's children at the very end. I did think that was a funny little bit. And Bo-Katan has a nice moment with the armorer, so that's cool. So the episode actually ends in a nice way. But I'm just glad it was short and I don't have to watch more of this filler. Oh, no, wait. We have the next 2 episodes to get to. I'll get to that next week. But for now, let me know what you think of this episode. It's pretty clear I don't like it. I don't care for it. And it's not looking like it's gonna get any better next week or the week after. But you know, I'm just getting through these episodes so I can finally get to the episodes that I do like at the end of the season, and of course the movie. I'm still looking forward to the movie. Despite the fact that Mandalorian Season 3 has issues, I'm still looking forward to it. But again, what are your thoughts on it? Are there things in this episode that you did like and that you disagree with me on? Please let me know in the comments below. Please leave a like on the video if you did, and subscribe to my channel for more Star Wars content. And of course, until my next video, may the Force be with you.